Okay, so if everyone is here and seated, we can start with the next session, which is by Eva Szymanska. Welcome. She's here to talk to us about data-driven innovations in language learning. She's responsible for building Rakuten Institute of Technology in Singapore. And she's leading research and technology development to optimize existing services and to develop new solutions for the Rakuten Group. Before joining Rakuten, Eva was a behavioral researcher at Singtel and led business development initiatives for a range of data-as-a-service products. Previously, she was with General Mills Consumer Insights in Minneapolis and a digital marketing consultancy, Rosetta, in New York. She received her PhD in psychology of decision-making from the University of Pennsylvania. And please go ahead.
Thank you so much. I'm Eva Szymanska from the Rakuten Institute of Technology, Singapore. Konnichiwa. Since we're in Japan today, and I still can get away with speaking English to you, my guess is a majority of you, if not all, speak at least 2 languages. And unless you were lucky to grow up bilingual, you had to work for it. You had to memorize the vocabulary, study the grammar. Well, basically, you know the pain. So today I'm going to talk about foreign language learning and how can we make it more engaging and effective with the use of new technologies. Sorry. But before we get there, I wanted to upfront address something that may be on your mind if you're following recent tech breakthroughs. Namely, is there even a future for language learning? Isn't it over? Haven't we all figured it out already? I mean, with all these discoveries in speech recognition and natural language processing techniques, can we just have this device and translate things real time? There are quite a few companies out there that are aggressively pursuing that vision, and they got recently a lot of media attention. So you might think that, we actually may be there. Maybe we do have the universal translator, so to speak, if you're a Star Trek fan. I would say not yet, not so fast. Just give you an example. Processing human language is really hard stuff. So, I ate ramen with egg. Egg is an ingredient in my ramen. I ate ramen with a spoon or chopsticks. Well, spoon is not an ingredient, it's a tool I use to eat my ramen. I ate ramen with a friend. Well, obviously, friend is not an ingredient nor a tool. It's a person I'm enjoying eating my ramen with, right? So that just shows that translation is not mere vocabulary lookup. You really have to have a deeper knowledge about stuff in the world and how it works. And machines are just not there yet. So with that, now that you know that there is a future for foreign language learning, let me turn to the presentation. So I'll do 3 things today. Number 1, talk about the trends in foreign language market. Number 2, I will show you the demo of a prototype that we built to address the market opportunity. And number 3, I will share a vision of putting together the content, the community, and data analytics together to create a more engaging learning experience. So for trends, let me just take a sip of water. 1.8 billion people are learning foreign languages in the world. Always putting numbers in perspective. In terms of native speakers, so what language you grew up speaking, Chinese leads the way with almost 1.4 billion people, but this is across all dialects. Second is Hindi, Urdu, and English, both with over 500 million speakers. Now, what languages are people learning? Well, English, of course, leading the way with 1.5 billion people learning this language right now. But other languages are also being studied worldwide. French, 82 million people. Chinese, 30 million. Japanese, actually, 3 million people studying it worldwide as of today. So a lot of people, which translate into a very large market. 56 billion US dollars, and growing at the projected rate of about 11 CAGR during the period from now until 2020. Now note that most of this market is still dominated by offline. In fact, digital English learning brought in 1.8 billion US dollars in 2013. But this is changing. Students are now increasingly turning towards online tools. So when online was only 5% in 2013, it's projected to go up to 12% in 2020. So it's really digital is leading the way. And investors are noticing. So $120 million was poured into these 5 startups very recently. All of them are based in US and Europe. Tencent Classroom attracted 34 million students in the first year of its operations. Tutor Group got funding for $3 million to teach online English to students in Greater China. So something worth noting here is that all this activity is mainly supporting studies of English and other Western languages. At the same time, I also wanted to highlight to you something interesting, which is Chinese as foreign language being on the rise. With 30 million people globally studying it, as mentioned before, increase in serious Chinese learners 5-fold, looking by the number of people that are taking HSK, which is the official Chinese proficiency test. U.S. administration is noticing, so a call for 1 million strong, 1 million U.S. K-12 students studying Chinese by 2020, which is again a 5-fold increase from what we're seeing today. So this is the landscape. Now, how are people actually learning those languages today? So the options that you have, you can always take a class. You can connect with your online tutor at the predetermined time. You can install various apps. Still, the options available are very much separate from your everyday life. And we all know that the best way really to learn language is to immerse ourselves in it. And the way to do it, ideally, is to just go to the foreign country where they speak the target language. Well, not everyone has the time and money to do so. However, there is another way. Because we live in interesting times. In times where we, on average, spend 4 hours of our leisure time during the day in front of screens, each and every day. So for the much of our waking time, we really are immersing ourselves in this digital content. And this brings in the opportunity. Right? Probably all waiting what the opportunity is. Okay, so the opportunity. So the entertaining content is very immersive. And students of foreign languages often say that watching foreign content really helps them learn. So we basically took that insight and coupled it together with what I mentioned earlier, that there is a rise in interest in studying Chinese, but there is just not as many resources available in contrast to Western languages that are really getting crowded really quickly. And we developed a prototype for a Chinese language learning platform on top of top Chinese content. And we're able to do that because one of the companies in Rakuten family is Vicky, which specializes in video streaming of premium Asian content. I see Aisha back there from Vicky. So let me show you the tool.
好香啊，好嫩呢。
哎，慢点儿！你不是说了吗？生活要慢慢品味，细细品味。你吃这么快，怎么品味啊？
难吃的东西才要慢慢品味啊，因为这样才可以吃得满。
So the user can stop at any time, jump by segment, highlight the word that they would like to learn, get the definition, add to the vocabulary so that they can return to that later, perhaps turn into a flashcard. Find again the word. They can play so they can get the pronunciation again. Yeah, adding to vocabulary again. Students can take notes on the vocabulary that they're saving. Maybe they just learned a new usage that's surprising to them. They want to flag it so they can ask a community of learners more about that specific word because it's interesting to them. They can save it. And then finally, they can go ahead and replay the content and listen for the words that they've just learned.
好香啊，好嫩呢。
哎，慢点儿！你不是说了吗？生活要慢慢品味，细细品味。你
They
吃
can
这么
make
快，
it full
怎么
screen
品味啊？
if really what they
难
want
吃
to
的东西
focus
才要
on
慢
is
慢
just
品味啊，
listening.
因为这样才可以吃得慢一点。这个少一点，可是这个东西真的太好吃了，你看我都没有了。
Okay. So, so that's the demo. So these are very basic tools that we built on top of the premium Chinese content. So what you just saw was my best ex-boyfriend, very popular Chinese show with a lot of traction in the West as well. Because as I should mention that Vicky's audience is based mostly in the US and or the Americas, also South America and Europe. Let me. Oops. How do I switch back? Oh yes, okay, I figured it out. Okay, so the basic tools. Now let me share the vision with you because this would be really just a starting point. But the vision would be to take this great, engaging, immersive content that people are literally addicted to nowadays, combine this with the community, online community, social networks, and also do data analytics to create this engaging and effective learning experience for foreign language students. So Rakuten already has a lot of exciting content both to read and to watch. We partner with Vicky because of their amazingly rich library of Asian content. It's global audience, which is 35 million users and growing. It's very engaged community. So what's special about Vicky is that their content is being translated by volunteers into over 200 languages. So this really opens up this niche entertainment from Asia to the rest of the world. And users on Vicky are actually already learning languages. So we ran a survey and about a half of visitors to Vicky are already learning foreign languages. And half of those are actually using Vicky to do so. So how can we now make it even more entertaining for them and helpful for them to learn? So, well, we can start by helping them assess the knowledge. So we have all the dialogues for the 50 hours of the show, My Ex-Boyfriend, for example. So say we can take a sample of those words and present to a user in form of a quiz. And based on the results, we can estimate the proportion of dialogues that they will be able to understand. And there's a lot of cool things now that we can do with this. So this is motivation. We can, user can set targets. They can say, well, I would like to understand 80%. How do I get there? Well, we know based on their knowledge of vocabulary, we can estimate how many words they still have to learn. And in addition, because we know the frequency of those words that turn up in this particular drama, we can suggest which words they should be studying next in order to reach their goal quicker. And this is a very concrete goal. You can share your progress with your friends, make it more social, etc. So, how would learners actually work with the tool? Well, I showed you already that we have the dual subs, by the way, provided by the community of volunteers. Again, really unique asset to Vicky. So let's say there is a sentence. Let's really do it together, okay? The learner would like to learn the word okay, together with the character. So instead of just providing a definition, as a standard dictionary definition, now we can pull out all the sentences from the entire drama, or even entire catalog of our Chinese dramas, to show the user how it's been used in other contexts and in other sentences. And then the user can click, and then they can actually see those words being spoken, because we tell them in which episodes, in which conversations they appear. And then they can drill down to get an even better feel for the language. So this is the alignment visualizer, especially helpful for the pairs of languages that don't follow the same word order. Right? So you can track together with the character, and you can see how the English words relate to the Chinese characters. Let's really do it together. In Chinese, it's more like really together. Do it. Let's doesn't even appear. Really seems like an idiom. Do it is actually one character. There's a lot of rich stuff that we can do by leveraging actually tools that are pretty standard in applied linguistics. So nothing of it's groundbreaking. What's really novel is to bringing all this knowledge together in a new context and providing it to the user in the environment that they find exciting and engaging. Then we can generate, flashcards, quizzes, games, whatnot. This is just all a question of user experience, but we can do that and provide again a context that's broader than just a definition that you found in dictionary. So another very interesting feature would be to improve your listening skills that people are already doing watching dramas. But we can make it more engaging by, for example, challenging users to find all of the scenes where a word together has been spoken. So they can watch a drama, and every time they hear it, they click. And then after the show, we can tell them, say that that's what their answers were. We'll say, well, you've missed one, you got this one correct, you got this one wrong. Well, for some users, it can be too fast. The natural language is spoken very fast. Well, with the technologies now, we can slow down the speed while keeping the pitch constant, so there are no distortions. So it's easier for those who are not as advanced to kind of ease into it more gently. Other things that we can do, actually, that was already mentioned in the Hirai's keynote address. We have other exciting technologies from other domains. So this was not developed for language learning whatsoever. This is for e-commerce, what RIT Paris has built. Merchants take pictures of the products they want to sell, and then the product is automatically recognized and put into the right category. Well, we can leverage it, for example, for automatic automatic object naming in the video frames. So that's another example how you can pull in those different technologies and make learning much more fun for the students. And then last but not least, the community. So as I mentioned, Vicky has a very engaged set of users. We provide tools for them to learn, but we also are learning a lot from them. Learn from their actions. We look at what errors are they making so that we can design our language learning tools that are more effective to teach and address the common mistakes. We have the native speakers that can generate for us the native content by, for example, reading the dialogues that the Chinese actors and actresses have been saying, and give then the language students an option to hear different pronunciations. Another for the assessment tool, you can also see if you know this word, what other words are you likely to know. Now, with a lot of students on the platform, you can see the power of how much we can learn from that, and how we can advance basically the science of language learning in general. That's really exciting from the pure research standpoint as well. So Vicky Learn is already live, or at least certain features. So if you go to vicky.com and visit the Chinese shows, those with dual subtitles, for example, my ex-best boyfriend, you'll be able to, from the settings, select beta mode and have dual subtitles appear and be able to skip by segment and get the definition. So this is in beta mode. The vision being that we want to overlay those basic tools on top of what Vicky already has to benefit the users. At the same time, if users want more, the things that I've mentioned that we can do and we can provide, they would be able to go to the dedicated place where these tools would be available and they can engage with them. So, to wrap up, I really want to say cheers to the amazing cross-disciplinary team, the Rakuten Institute of Technology, Singapore, the Vicky product team, our amazing interns from the National University of Singapore. It's great to bounce ideas together, and we really look forward to leverage all of the global Rakuten assets to help bring down the language barriers. So, thank you very much.
So I'm wondering if anyone in the audience has got any questions, maybe how do we sign up for the beta? You can do it. Or anyone? No? Then can I ask my question? How do we sign up for Vicky Learn beta version?
So actually Vicky is a free service. So you can go right away and pick a Chinese show. I suggest my best ex-boyfriend. and from the settings you select Learn mode and you are good to go.
Great.
Thank you.
Sorry.
So, thank you for the presentation. So regarding the Vicky Learn, so do you have other languages, like besides the Chinese dramas?
Yes. Thank you for, I just spilled water on this. I hope that we started with Chinese mostly because of the opportunity. And also because I think all of my team except myself speaks Chinese. I'm learning, but next we are envisioning Korean, just because we have so much Korean content, and Japanese as well. So basic features we could basically roll out for all the languages on Vicky. When it comes to the more advanced features, that would probably take a little bit more time to introduce it across other languages. But our vision is to really make this technology available for learners from any part of the world learning any language.
Sure, thank you. So, can I ask one more question?
Sorry,
No, I don't know.
Sorry.
Yeah,
No,
yeah.
maybe afterwards. We have 1 minute left, so if we can also to one more question.
That's fine.
Okay.
No, in this case, okay. So, like, why did you choose the dramas? Like, you might have some kind of maybe news contents or like some cartoons. Like, so I'm just interested in.
Well, dramas have a tremendous kind of an addictive quality to it. And you can really see by the passion with which people on sites like Vicky talk about those dramas and about actors and following them. It's really the whole industry developed around these dramas. And I think this is a perfect example of what engagement is. I mean, people feel so passionate about it, then they do it in their free time. And that's the beauty of using this type of passion for language learning, because then it doesn't even feel like learning.
Great, thank you.
Okay. Thank you again for coming. So let's give her another round of applause.
And by the way, I will be here, so if there are any questions that you didn't get a chance to ask, just come by and ask me. Thank you so much. Arigatou gozaimasu. Thank you so much. Yeah, because it kept on I think it worked better than the... Oh, yes, thank you. Giuseppe, thank you very much. I have Stanley. Don't go away. This is Giuseppe from Wacky. Yeah.